more music. We are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash.
106.7.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM. Always a pleasure to be here to bring you your darling program on your darling station. Talking about Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM, the Integrity Station, the station that is committed to promoting right values. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of September 2021. A Wednesday it is. It's the day you get to join myself, Binga, and of course Lola on the edition of the show. Hope you rested well, slept well, because we are ready to give you all of the very best that we have to offer this morning. Benga Fayon is my name.
Welcome to Panorama for the third day in a row. My name is Lola Meruteni. It's good to be back here.
All right, great. Then, our issue of the day for today basically is about calls to grant amnesty to bandits. I want to look at it from the perspective of the governor of Katsina State. That is, what's his name again now?
Masari.
Bello Masari. Aminu Bello Masari, who was a speaker, by the way, of the House of Representatives at some certain point in time. But we have joining us in the studio to have that conversation this morning, Daud Olatunji, who's a reporter with the Punch newspaper. Daud, it's good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too. Good morning, Binga. Good morning, Lola.
Good morning.
And listener, good morning.
Okay, well, we tried to work on and get the audio clip, but I believe for those who are very conversant with happenings in Nigeria, you would have heard he talking about, let me read some of the statement that he said. That's Bello Masari. That was on Monday. Aminu Bello Masari on Monday, in an interview that he granted on Channels Television's Politics Today. He said, "I don't regret it. The only thing I say is, with the benefit of hindsight, I wouldn't have done it, because at that time when we started in 2016, there were leaders, but gradually all the leaders were eliminated. That was a failure of the first round." He went on to say a host of other things, which would spotlight and analyze with Daud this morning. Daud, let's start this way. Several calls have come from several quarters about how bandits seem like a nice word to describe the perpetrators of these evil deeds, such as kidnapping, raping, killing, maiming, which has resulted in the displacement of thousands of people in the northeast and several other regions of the country, and that the federal government should label these guys as terrorists. The question then is, how does nomenclature help in the fight against insecurity to start with?
You see, if you check, the two words have different purposes. For terrorism, the aim is political, to take over the power. That is terrorism. Banditry is for economic gain, stealing, to just get money from you, to rob you. So when they now, but in Nigeria today, we've now seen the reality that both Boko Haram and then bandits are working hand in hand. We learned that they also exchange, like for instance, according to some sources, they said some of these school children that were abducted, they sometimes exchange them with either money or weapon with the Boko Haram. So if you call some set of people terrorists, you want to deal with them because, Boko Haram was very, very clear.
Okay.
The hoodlums, they said they wanted to take over. They wanted to, rule Nigeria with Sharia, their own Sharia. But bandits, they never said they wanted to rule. What they just do is that they started with castle rustling. They graduated from that castle rustling to kidnapping. They now discovered that kidnapping is very, very lucrative, and they started. In fact, according to statistics I checked last night, over 4 billion naira have been paid as ransom in that region, in the northwest. So it is for economic gain. So when you label some certain set of people as bandits, what you are telling us is that these people are just thieves. They are doing this to get money. But Boko Haram, Boko Haram will not kidnap. When they kidnap, what they want to achieve is they want to take over the power. But these bandits are not taking over. They just want to rob you and then ruin your economy. But in Nigeria, Nigeria usually have kind of our own brand. For the developed country to name certain people as bandits, you will have studied. I say, okay, these people, they don't have anything to do with political issues. They just want to rob you for your belongings. But in Nigeria today, we are seeing that, yes, they call themselves bandits, but they also work with terrorists. So it will be better for the presidency or the government to label bandits terrorists so that they give the same measure they want to give to Boko Haram. That is why they are talking about amnesty. Because if someone is a bandit, I say he's just a thief. But they are not only thieves, they kill, they rape. So they did all sort of that criminal activity. So if they label them terrorists, it will be easy for government to deal with them decisively and to treat them as enemies of the state. But if you say bandits, they want to give them that treatment of armed robber. Armed robber will sometimes, in fact, the law has now empowered the country to to send them to either life imprisonment or death by hanging. But not all the armed robbers will have that kind of judgment. What the names labeling people do to us is you'll be able to say these are bandits, these are terrorists. So whatever we want to give to terrorists, we will not give to them. Because it's like they are small, they are child. They are children rather. They are junior, yes, to terrorists. So that is what they are playing in. But if you study their modus operandi, you observe that two of them are terrorists. Only that one, Boko Haram, has one purpose. The purpose is to take over the power. But bandits is to ruin our economy. And when you ruin your state economy, you are also going to that political power.
Regardless of what they are tagged as, we've seen that these criminals, either terrorists or bandits, there's an idea put forward by some individuals and even governments that these people can be talked to, that if you adopt a pacifist method in talking to them, that there's hope of reformation. Do you agree with that?
I don't. I agree with Masari. Part of his statement, Benga did not finish that statement. He said when they started in 2016, they knew their leaders and they were talking to their leaders and their leaders were listening. But he said gradually they eliminated all the leaders. So he said they live in the forest, they cannot be talked to. Nothing like peaceful talk. They don't listen to peace talk rather. So he said they are criminals, and I agree with him.
But Gumi has been talking to them
and claiming that.
What have he gained from his talk? Whenever he came here to see former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and after he finished the close-up meeting, I approached him. That Sheikh, can you let the whole world know why you are here? He said, I'm going to issue a statement. So, and when we waited, what the statement just said that I came to visit former President Obasanjo. We talk. He never what he came here to do. But if you study the way Gumi has been marshalling a point, you observe that he's a careful person. If you observe very well, if he has said something contrary, he must have killed him, because they know that he knows that they know them. He knows that these people know him, and they can get to him. And because they have told him so many things, and they use him as a conveyor, and he has not been able to talk to them. We expected him to say, okay, guys, come out of the forest. I've talked to, like Masadi wanted to talk to them, but they are not listening. You know what they do, apart from kidnapping people, they also explore the resource. You see that somebody has told us that in any country, if insurgency lasts for more than 1 year, the government is enjoying it. So if you see, within the few days they started that onslaught, shutting down the telecommunication, they have started recording a lot of sources. People have started, and the fear is this: if they allow these people to escape out of Nigeria, they will still constitute threat, because they are waiting hands. Now on border now we have all these problems of code, without all those stuff. Right. They are waiting hands that will definitely welcome them and then train them and then send them back. So as they are launching that, offensive attack on them, they should close the border. I'm not saying they should kill them, but they should neutralize them to the extent that there should not be anything called banditry. So they got to know that residents of some of these states, especially the Northwest, it's like it was programmed. Northeast is ravaged by Boko Haram. Northwest is ravaged by banditry. And these two regions are the poorest regions in the country. When we talk of backwardness, when we talk of no education, no poverty index, the highest poverty index can be found in Northeast, followed by Northwest. And they have the largest number. They are most populated regions in the country. And when the election comes, these are the regions that the North rely on to get, because that is, for instance, in Northwest, Kaduna, Sokoto, right. Benue, Samfara, right. And then one other. And then in Northeast, that's what we have. We have Kano, right. We have Borno. We have so what I'm saying is that all these two regions have what they can show up is they have the number, but when it comes to the poverty index, lack of education, lack of infrastructure, you can get it there. Polio, before the general got over it, the largest number of polio was founded. Some of these almajiris can be founded. So when we say the other side, you can be founded. That is why Boko Haram will thrive, because life does not have meaning. Both Northeast and Northwest, some of these people don't enjoy life. So it will be easy to lure them. That is why, I don't know if you have seen some video clips of that forest. Sometimes they send it to us so that we'll know the life in the forest. They get a lot, you see the sophisticated weapons. They are within, and then they have the resources. How would they not have the resources? According to BBC statistics, he said they have kidnapped over 800 school children between 2011 and 2020. Right. And if you also look at it, he said 21 million people person in Zamfara, Sokoto, KB, Katsina, and Niger and Kaduna were affected since 2011. And if you also now look at it from, according to BBC statistics, it said bandits have killed over 8,000 persons between 2011 and 2020. Have killed. And these are the people they are now saying they should give amnesty to. They've displaced, in fact, they have displaced and they've collected over 3 billion naira as ransom from relatives of the kidnapped victim.
Yeah,
So,
victim.
And over 3,673 kidnapped victims. They collected over 3 billion naira from them. That is why they enjoy 3 billion naira. It's a money. And people will pay. What do they use the money for? That is why they don't want to leave that kidnapping. In fact, there is another fear is if they give them orientation and then they incorporate them in society, because they are used to that life. Look at between 2011 and 2020.
Right.
Look at that life. That is 9 years. Somebody that was used to that life of affluence, he ate whatever he want. They also engage in cattle rustling.
Right.
They ate anyhow. They kidnap, they rape, they enjoy. Now you incorporate them into the same society, and you are not monitoring them. That tendency of once they now see that they are not enjoying what they are used to, they will go back to. So I think the issue is the government should be very, very clear and say that these people, you should not continue calling them bandits. If you should not give them that banditry treatment, you should give them the treatment of terrorism. So that, because somebody they are not only kidnapping. If you want to say you are a bandit, you kidnap, you collect money, you release. They kill, they rape, they did all sorts of criminal activities, and you now call them bandits. They are not only stealing, they have added other crimes like killings among others. So they can be compared to terrorists. They should be given that kind of treatment. And if you also now look at it, for instance, if you want to give them amnesty, for instance, what people are saying is, and I agree with them, is that before you give anybody amnesty, 3 things must happen.
Okay.
The first, you will have arrested them, you will have prosecuted them, and justice must have taken place. So convicts are the one we give amnesty to. If I don't, that is why they are calling that they should give Igbo amnesty. People are saying that is rubbish. You can't give Igbo any amnesty. He has never confessed to any crime. He has never been convicted of any crime. You can't say you want to give amnesty. Anybody you want to give amnesty to is someone who has been convicted. Now, okay, you have been convicted, but you give amnesty. So giving amnesty to bandits is an injustice that should not even be in a dictionary at all. Arrest them first. Let them produce some of these children. Chibok girls, they have not released all of them.
Right.
Dapchi girls,
Right.
all of them have not been released. All the school boys have not been released. Many other people, yes, they've killed. What do we do? The families of those who have lost their family members to these unprovoked attacks, when they now start seeing them in the society, would they be happy? Would they not be tempted to commit another sin that, okay, I don't want to kill my father. I will ensure that I'll also kill you. He may not tell him. He may even lure him to be his friend and poison him. So government should not play dangerous game. They should know that all this amnesty, they should not fly that cat. What they should do now is they've done good carrots before them and they ignore it. The next thing is they whip them. That's what they are doing in Zamfara. And that is why I've been following it. I'm looking for someone that will condemn that. Because if you say they kill them, have they not killed people? They've destroyed farms. Over there, they know nothing but farming. Food items are very, very cheap there, but not now. They've destroyed people's life. People have left that place. In fact, according to BBC statistics, say people that have fled this country to neighboring country going to million, about 200,000, yes. about 200,000 people, Nigerians, have fled the country. So where would they go? They left their property for another place that they know they knew nobody. So all these things are sins. Even if you take it to spiritual realm, forgiveness, you also pay some prices before you are forgiving. So you want to forgive, somebody want to seek forgiveness, want to get forgiveness from me, must have come to me and confess that I'm the one that did this thing. These people have not come out and said they are the one that did it. In fact, we learned that it is not these people that are saying, please give us amnesty. It is the government.
Some proponents of this.
Government that are flying the cat before them that please, come and take amnesty. Because Niger Delta agitators were giving. You can't compare that. That one is economic. They were reacting to, what government was doing to their people. You are exploring oil from their communities and they are suffering from it. There was nothing to show for it. And the youth stood up and said, no, enough is enough. And what were they doing? They were blowing the oil pipeline. So they are not killing people. So you can't, they are criminals, economic criminals, but they are not murderers. So you can't say because they gave them amnesty, they should give these people amnesty. For them to be given amnesty, they must be convicted. They must be arrested.
Okay. Looking at proponents of these amnesty, I'll mention a few names here. Sheikh Ahmed Gumi seems to be a major voice in this regard. As a matter of fact, some federal lawmakers from Zamfara State at the upper chamber, the Red House, as well as the lower chamber, the Green Chamber of the National Assembly as well. And of some sorts, if I may, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who in February this year said it was unfair to criticize Bello Matawali of Zamfara State for granting amnesty to terrorists terrorizing the state. These individuals like this, I'm sure there are several others who might not have lent their voice, but maybe inside of them they feel there's nothing wrong with granting amnesty to these individuals and criminal elements. Would people like this now have a rethink, looking at what's his name now, the Katsina State governor said?
Sorry, you see, they even call him drunkard. Mietiala has reacted. They call him unprintable names. They abuse him. That because he told them that Fulani are the one engaging in this. It's a Fulani person. So it's not that it's an Hausa person that is. So you see, some of these people that are talking, you can see their sentiments. When you introduce tribal sentiment into things, you won't get it done. Because, for instance, some people want to say that because we are Yoruba, we should not condemn what Igboho did. We say, if you see some things that he did that is not right, we say, you have not done well here. So, when you want to introduce tribe, that is what is happening. They are introducing tribe into it. Imagine if this thing, banditry, is happening in Southwest. They will have leveled us. They will have leveled the place. So, there are these sentiments, sincerely. That is why if you observe some of these sectors, somebody was talking to me, we are talking about this cash transfer in Ogun State. Not up to 10,000 people have benefited. Some of these northern states, 47,000 benefited. You don't understand. We say we belong to the same Nigeria. So there is this huge sentiment about some of these tribes. So they are talking. Lai Mohammed will talk because he want to be, be in the good book. If you want to, if Lai Mohammed want to be sincere, I know we know what he will have said, but he won't say it. You want to be in the good book of the North, and that is why people are calling for restructuring. As at today, if you do election, do whatever, not only election, anything you do, not clear everything, because the censor. That's why they will not do any censor. So all these things are injustice. If they can restructure the country, we now say that okay, if South says no and not say yes, it is no and yes. That is stalemate.
Right.
I'm telling you, somebody was saying it. I think I said, if we go to election and South vote for a party, all the South, I think we are 17.
Right.
All the states in the South vote for a particular candidate, and all the northern states. Vote for that is 19. Vote for Balukade. He said at the end of the day, maybe there is a kind of stalemate, there is a kind of tie. He said they will go for, because that it is 25% in all the I think 25% in majority now.
Right.
You know, say the second step, if they want to do the by-election, he said they will now go for simple majority, that they win. It is true. So there is this for so many things have been lopsided. That is why if it were to be, let's say Obasanjo were to be in government, this thing will have been resolved sincerely, because see how he dealt with Odi in Bayelsa. He was able to do that because it did not happen in North, and then it was Obasanjo. That is why, if you observe very well, there was a time he visited the leader of Boko Haram, and they trusted him, and they had a talk with him. Unfortunately, 24 hours after he left, they killed the man Obasanjo had a meeting with. Why? According to they said, they discovered that he withheld some salient piece of information from them. Now, where I'm going to is that all these people, like Mohammed, senators, they will talk like that because they are friends of the Northerners, and then they are Northerners. But if you want to talk, you want to look at it very well, you say, okay, these people, do they deserve our amnesty? In fact, another shocking thing was that he said, it's not only to give us amnesty, you must also compensate us. That's how you give it to El-Rufai, Kaduna State Governor. He said, what did they do to deserve our compensation and amnesty? It's a fundamental question. What did they do? Did they render any service? They destroy our economy. They dislodge a lot of people. They should be dealt with. If we now say, okay, we are magnanimous, we are kind, okay, we are generous, we want to be kind of considerate with them, okay, instead of killing you, we'll give you 10 years imprisonment. Fine. But they need to pay for it, because the fear is this. If you just incorporate them like that, it will encourage some other people. It will be a bad precedent, sincerely. The people have done have wreaked a lot of havoc on our economy. And some of these people, look at what happened now. Some girls, Chibok girls, Daphne girls, they started coming out with children, 2 children. People that have not finished their education, they destroyed their career, and they married them to Boko Haram commanders. You know, say, okay, we'll take the girls back, because we are not. But if you want to take the girls back and the children, you cannot just incorporate them into the society. They live with these criminals. The mentality, psychologically, sometimes when they close their eyes, what they will be, the nightmare they will be seeing, the way they will be feeling, because they have seen blood, they've seen so many dead bodies, they've seen the way they kill people just anyhow. Human life does not have value. So all these things will have impact. The psychologists, psychiatrists, some of these experts should be, what's it called? Call to help before they incorporate them. But those people who perpetrated the evil, government should use its power to get them arrested, prosecute them. It will be in the book of history that those who did this, how did they deal with Matasani? So that it will not encourage people that say, okay, wait, if you do it, we'll call for amnesty, we'll negotiate. Government will forgive us. But if they see that, okay, government dealt with these people, despite that they call for amnesty, they will look at it very well, sincerely, before they engage in all this criminal acts.
In this regard again, is it not something to also consider the numbers that the North seem to have? I'll give an instance here. I recall when we were also covering the local government elections in Ogun State here, we interacted with the lawmaker. He represented Wekuru Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. He mentioned the fact that people sometimes don't know and understand the dynamics of being at the house. He said the North has the numbers.
Yes.
That in the at the green chambers that they are 197 in number. Those from the south are 163. That seems a simple majority, 197 to 163. It just seems as though you have to play to the gallery and to whatever it is they are offering. So looking at the numbers, is this not something that should also be talked about if the proponents of this amnesty, a lot of them coming from that side, I mean, how can this be short-circuited at the end of the day?
It is the masses that will do that. Don't forget that there was a plot to impose a draconian law against the media. And what the media do? Front pages of the paper on Monday. So there is a way masses can stop them. What if it's a politics not to defeat? That is why, but Abiyamila that emerged as speaker. You know what the underhand dealing? No, they will have perceived their dues before they bring him up. Because if not comes at Southwest or whatever, not PDP, if you observe his body language, PDP is not ready to come to the South. They want to stay. And if either of these parties picks candidates from the North, that's it. Because there is no way they will not get something from the Southwest or Southeast. And the North has that sentiment. Like, let the power. You know, there was a time they were asking state to come up with is this slogan that like a Ogun State gateway.
Right.
A state came with, we are born to rule. They had to say, you have to change it. State of caliphate. You now change to state of caliphate. So, born to rule. That is the mentality. They have told them that you being northerner, you are born to rule. And are we second citizen? Second calculus? We are not. So if that's why they will not allow restructuring. At the House, we know that they play that games. If North want a minister and South does not, the minister will skate through. If they say, okay, voice vote, 193, 163. That is about 30.
They're about.
So, and apart from that, if you also vote, not to definitely. That is why some of our politicians here, they play their game with the North. That is why look at Achuaj Bola before he fell ill. Immediately after 2019 election, he relocated to Abuja. And he started meeting with them. In fact, he started this campaign from that end because he knows that Southwest, South, he can still. In fact, Obasanjo was not. We did not vote for Obasanjo in Ogun State. Obasanjo did not win in Ogun State, and he became our president. So because not wanted him. So if not say we want Gbenga, let anybody in Ogun State, they will not vote for you because you are truthful. You have been telling us the truth. We don't want to hear to the North. So far, not queues behind you. You win. That's what we want to change. That enough is enough. Let's do another census. Kano, Lagos. You continue saying Kano is bigger. Kano has largest number than Lagos. Scientifically, you can't prove it. You don't understand. There are some states in the North that cannot. If you add three of them together, they cannot withstand the population of Oyo State. But today, you now see, look at, for instance, Bayelsa with the local government, Jigawa, and then Gombe. You now observe very well that what is really wrong. Some of these states, they carve them out from some states. Right. And they still maintain, look at Kano, 43 local government. 44. And they carve some states from it. And then Lagos, how many local government? They are still running LCDA, which is illegal. Constitution does not allow it. Former Governor Amos also tried it here. He did the referendum for 37 LCDA. And they even had secretariats. When this one came, he didn't even say anything. Natural death. They died naturally. Because he did not believe in it. So these are issues that until we restructure. This is Nigeria. This is marriage. It's a union. Some people came together. It is not that Nigeria is own, it's just one. It is amalgamation. People They will continue to have the issue of banditry and Boko Haram until they do the needful to unemployment, especially youth unemployment, poverty. These are we have weak governance, poverty, youth unemployment. Those three things there are other factors. These three factors are very germane. If they work around this thing and they can achieve it, you will not hear Boko Haram. Let them come to Gusida and say Boko Haram. Am I not a Muslim? Let them bring gun. I value life. I enjoy life. But they don't. I don't know if you have been to Kado or one of these Northern states. I don't know what is happening now. If you go to their canteen and you hit and your phone rings, sometimes people are here, you don't want them to listen to your conversation. You now stand up. You are eating, your food is here. You just step a bit back step out to receive the call. Before you get back to your food, you won't find it there. The Amajiri will have just cleared it. So that is how bad it is. If you drink sachet water and you throw the nylon, they will pick it. Somebody was pulling a wheelbarrow with a full fender, and by whatever accident the container fell and then the food littered the ground. Before you call Jack, the Ahmadiyya just swamped and then they were eating raw on the ground. So when you say cholera, when you say all these diseases, all this polio, they are found there because there is this education. They are backward, and then poverty. You turn them. If they can walk around these three things, all this banditry, sincerely, will be a forgone issue. But if all these things they are doing in Savara, that I said yes, I throw my way behind it. It should not stop there. As they are launching that onslaught against them, they should also now think, okay, how do we make these people that are already in the society, how do we make them value life? So that if you want to recruit and somebody you want to recruit is gainfully employed, it will not answer you. Right. But some of them that are in the society do not understand the life, and they arrested 2 teenagers in I think Jigawa. The 2 teenagers. The residents said they discovered that they were the one giving Boko Haram information, and they tied them to the tree. Now, teenagers, what will the Boko Haram people will have told them to now be giving them information that the soldiers are coming? They have taken this route. That is why the army said they will have won the battle, but it is the residents that are serving as informants. That is why they killed some of these soldiers, because before they get to them, they will have got the information. Now they've caught. We are talking about Safara. They should also do that, although there will be a lot of pains. They also do that for the Northeast too.
In terms of communication?
Exactly, so that they just maybe within 1 week or whatever, they will have positioned it. If they can do that, they don't get information, they will clear them. Sincerely.
All right, how about we letting you be in a part of the conversation straight away? You can get a call us, let us know your opinions regards our issue of the day, which is calls to grant amnesty to bandits. We're looking at this from the perspective of the Katsina State Governor. You can call us using the numbers 0817-444-1067, 0704-400-1067, and 0817-555-1067. Do you have messages on WhatsApp just yet? Before we do, let's get to this call. Please turn off your radio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Abayomi.
Yes, Daud. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, sir.
Abayomi, yes, I'm calling from myself.
All right, go on.
Yes, Daud, I think all these things, and we had enough space to go around. The residents have their things. Their things are not that they have their things. Then the federal government who has its own share of it. But I want to say that their leaders in the north, now things are coming. This thing is getting closer to them by the day. And they are now seeing that they have, this thing we are talking about is not just that thing. It has been planted years back. It is not to say that the Northerners don't give importance to life, even their own life. It is not today. It has been there for years. But now that their leaders are feeling the way Matari was talking, I think he only cautioned himself for not shedding tears. Now they are facing the reality. Now, what are they doing to stop this thing? How are they talking to their people? Because one major thing why this insurgency has refused to go away is the cooperation that these bandits, these terrorists enjoy from the residents themselves. Until they talk to their people and they are able to let them realize the havoc that these people are perpetrating, we won't get to the bottom of it. And for us down south here, I don't want to hear that the Northerners are more popular or they have larger numbers. Take for instance the election period. Now we are having the registration going on. How many people take that place to go and register? Let us register. Let them see the number we have. Or just say that you are saying it's larger than 3-4 states in the north. How many people in Oyo State will go out and register? We won't. And at the end of the day, when these people go out, take their siblings, take their children to the polling booth, they will record a large number of people and we'll be down here lamenting. It's not going to work. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Abayomi, for talking to us. We can take more calls. 0817 444 1067 0704 400 1067 and 0817 555 1067. We have another caller now. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, my people in the house. Daud, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Paul Oni. He is heterogeneous, and the North knows it more than you do. So don't get carried away by their flying of kites. No northern account is the president in Nigeria in 2023. They know it. So let's not be carried away with the 8 years of Buhari. Don't forget that Buhari had to stay 3 months in Babylon before he got this president, and he went in the Baba's house before he got this president. So don't always assume that they have us as slaves. They can never be president in 2023. That's the only thing I intend to add. Every other thing he said, I agree with it. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Paul Oni, for talking to us. We appreciate you. We have another caller now. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
We can hear you. Go on.
Yes, I'm Larry from Camp Abeokuta.
Larry, talk to us.
Okay. I want to appreciate my brother over there, Daud Olatunji. He has really done justice to the issue. But I just want to add this to it. I've been in the north, I lived there for some time. See, what is happening now is that the north, they have sown wind and they are reaping wild wind right now. While we are there, been on over the years, and they are unfettered. The government, they supported it all this while. With our southerners, either you're a Muslim or a Christian, they can just put these riots, they can kill you for many days. But the day we want to come out, the Igbo people, they want to retaliate, that day the military will come out. I said nobody should do anything. We have to be a refugee in the barrack in our own country. Now they have allowed their children to be violent over the years without doing anything about it. And you dare not touch them, even in the streets. You dare not touch them. Now they have sown over the years. No value for life over there. Sincerely, even when they are traveling down to the town, they die not very anyhow. No value for life. That is what is happening. Now, giving them amnesty is not the issue. This is about ideology. You can never conquer the battle of ideology. They have to go back to the right and reset their mindset. These are what they have been teaching them over the years. Their type of, don't let me mention the name of any religion. Over there is different from the one they count here. The way they culture, they will leave a child of 7 years, maybe take him from Adoka to Ilori to go and do Alwajiri. If he survives, he survives. Doesn't survive, he doesn't survive. Those ones should be there already. They should know how to cancel those Alwajiri system now or else. They are already made instruments to be recruited in the hand of Bukwara and Bandits. So the government has not anything. If they kill them today, another set will shrink up because they have not done the right thing. They have not started from the point. The fundamental issue is the ideology of people in the north and their own belief. That is your thing. Good morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Olanima Shaun is the name calling from Abeokuta.
Talk to us.
Daud Olatunji, I want to appreciate you highly for your resourcefulness.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to say I agree with you in total without exception. And whatever it is that the military is doing in the Southwest now has always been advocated for, has always been, pronounced by even ex-military operatives, not to talk of we so-called bloody civilians. You see, the military in Nigeria has the capacity and the capability to decimate these banditos, criminals, terrorists, and whatever name they come up with for them. You see, they are no more than the state. The state has all the power. I just wonder why all this while they have been allowed to fester ad infinitum somehow. And as it were today, if they are to be decimated, they will surely be decimated if the approving authorities grants the necessary approval to go ahead continuously. You cannot do without having a recalcitrant element in any society. It is for the state to curtail them and make sure they don't rear their ugly heads again. And I hope these activities that is going on now from the military will be sustained to a very great extent, to the extent that you won't even hear of these banditos that will be headline news all over the land again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alani Marshall, for talking to us.
On WhatsApp. Before we get to WhatsApp, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for the topic of today.
What's your name, please?
I'm Lukman Salim from Abeokuta.
All right, go on.
I just want to correct some wrong analysis of some analysts concerning the northern population. The fact is that the north is popular based on their ideology. By the time a northerner gets to 12, 10 years age, the northerner will have married and will have been giving birth to as many children as possible. By the time somebody that's married at 12 gets to 25, he has become a grandparent. A typical southerner will marry at the age of 30 or 40. Now divide the number of products a typical northerner will have been giving back to. The one giving back to at the age of 12, will by another 12, that is 12 plus 12 will have multiplied before a typical southerner now gets ready to marry. Therefore, as a result of that multiplication, the northern will continue to dominate by population. So the analysts should be realistic in their analysis and to not be using the southern orientation to compare and substitute the northern situation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
All right,
very
thank
much.
you very much for that little tidbit.
Hello.
What?
If you take Lagos, you know that.
Good morning.
Afolabi is my name.
Afolabi, go on, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Daud. I want to add a little bit idea to this thing. In any society where the leaders are not bringing issue, this kind of things abound. I want to re-echo a quote from Obafemi Awolowo sometime. I read it sometime. He said, during those times, he told the likes of Papa Bello that these people you refuse to educate will become problems for you in the future. And I believe this is what we are seeing. Education is very important. If we want a society to work the way we want to, we must educate our people. Then again, religion. Religion is a problem in this country. Because we discover that the leaders they don't want to do the needful, but they would rather resort to religion in order to get what they want
Afolabi,
to
could
get.
you please wrap up? We have to proceed on the commercial break very shortly, 30 seconds if you can.
Maybe I can come back.
All right, no problem. We'll appreciate that. So we'll proceed on that break. And of course, when we come back, we still have Daud with us here for the duration of the program, actually. So you can still pick a few more thoughts, a few more calls, and of course, look at your messages on Facebook as well as WhatsApp. Stick with us.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
Dear parents, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and Jill a dull girl. Why not let your children come unwind with us at the Splash FM monthly children's party? All birthday celebrants this month will get to have a rousing birthday celebration in their honor. A flat fee of 1,500 naira only will get your child access to all the exciting attractions we have. There will be a birthday cake in honor of the celebrants, face painting, games, amusement rides, and more. Come party with us at the Ogun State Recreation Center, MKO Abiola Stadium, Koto, Abeokuta, for the Splash FM monthly children's party. Register by calling or texting 0805 041 7077 or 0811 249 0571. Check out our Facebook page Splash FM 106.7 for more details. The Splash FM monthly children's party is happening on Saturday, the 25th of September by 10 a.m.
Àjànàkú bàbá sẹ̀mí àti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ plọ́ọ̀tì kọ̀ọ̀kan alẹ́ fún nìyàn ní plọ́ọ̀tì mẹ́ta eléjù mẹ́ta lọ ṣá o àfún ẹ̀nílẹ̀ dàkó ìdákànnúdà mẹ́rin èrè ìbáwá ìnúre Yorùbá gbèrè máa jẹ́ tiwa iléeṣẹ́ 1 January Agro Investment Limited pẹ̀lú ètò lórí ìwé mìíràn nílé àtàwọn ètò mìíràn ẹ̀rọ̀dún méjì péré la wà máa fi yọ dákànnúdà mẹ́rin yìí o ẹni lágbára mẹ́ta kó wá gbalẹ̀ àìmọ̀ yìí ilẹ̀ oko tí múlẹ̀ lọ sálálu ìgbà ẹ̀bẹ̀ pọ̀ àtúntì fọ́sẹ̀ kan kún ọjọ́ keje oṣù kẹsàn-án ilẹ̀ oko ọ̀fẹ́ máa dópin o wanẹ́rì máa fi ẹ́ líwọ̀n bá kó fẹ́ gbìn. tó bá mọ̀ nípa aṣẹ́ òkú àwọn ìmọ̀ abáyé lólẹ̀ ti wà kó máa gbówó lọ́dún retí rẹ̀. fún ẹnilẹ̀ kò dìmọ́ sùlù àti bíkítàdì yóò máa jẹ lọ́wọ́. 1 January Agro Investment Limited awali Ansarudin House Wari Road Pepsi Lábẹ́kúta 081 65 64 65 35. iyì tún gọ̀ǹtì yọ.
Ẹ tẹ́tí sí ìkéde yìí ilé ìtajà The Ennis Global Covenant Boutique and Stores ń kí àwa òbí àti alágbàtọ́ kó ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ìwọlé fún sáà ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tuntun àṣírí wa bò lágbára Ọlọ́run. À ń fi àsìkò yìí kéde wípé àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn ọmọ wa máa nílò ti wà lọ́dọ̀ wa. A ní imported school sandals, HP school bag, HP lunch box, CL Power, character bag, lunch box àti lunch bag, socks, pants àti singlet. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ní owó tí kò gara. Bí a ṣe ń ta children wears ní The Ennis Global Covenant Boutique and Stores. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni a tún ń ta unisex outfits, quality foreign shoes and sandals, jewelry, men's shirts, jeans, trousers, perfumes and body sprays at affordable prices. The Ennis Global Covenant Boutique and Stores wà ní number 9 Onikolobo Road Ládojúkọ Catholic Comprehensive High School Onikolobo Road Abeokuta ní The Ennis Global Covenant Boutique and Stores. Níbẹ̀ lẹ ti máa rí àwọn ojúlówó ohun èlò tó jẹ́ àmúyangàn fáwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lówó tí ò gara. Fún àlàyé síwájú sí ẹ pè 0818 303 5977 0818 303 5977.
You fit fly. Wow, You Fit Fly brings to you another wonder as we embark on a holy pilgrimage to the Kingdom of Jordan. Of course, you have been to Jerusalem a number of times as instructed by the New Testament, but this pilgrimage to Jordan will help you complete your holy pilgrimage according to the Old Testament. Remember, River Jordan is where Jesus went, and the point where he struck the rock to evangelist J.A. Adelakun Ayawa. Visit You Fit Fly office now, 68.
Àgbájọ Homes and Property Nigeria Limited ní ẹ̀ṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún ríra àwọn ilẹ̀ wọn pàápàá lórí ìgbàgbọ́ tẹ́ ẹni sí wọn. Èyí tó mú wọn tẹ̀síwájú wọ́n ti fọba 100,000 lòun náà tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí 100,000 lẹ́sàn. Ọ̀dẹ́dá Unique Garden 300,000 ní tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí 150,000 lẹ́sàn. Lẹ́gbàá gbé tán ilẹ̀ oko ń bẹ ní Alábàtà àti Òṣìẹ̀lẹ̀ 50,000 ní per plot. Ilẹ̀ ń bẹ ní Ọbádá oko Ìdíòrì Onígangan Sábó Sódẹ́kẹ́ titun phase 2 ẹ máa bọ̀ ní 39 NTA Road Ọgbẹ̀ Abẹ́òkúta 07044648338 07044648338. Ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kẹsàn-án làǹfààní yóò pín. Àgbájọ Homes and Property Nigeria Limited lónìí bá a bá gbìyànjú ṣiṣẹ́ tán àgbọ́dọ̀ wábi tá a fẹ̀yìntì ẹ̀dẹ̀ nǹkan mọ́lẹ̀.
Adédìrú Àṣàbí ni orúkọ mi. Èmi ni àkọ́bí ọmọ fún ìdílé Adélọ́rọ̀.
Oyinwọnúọlá ni orúkọ tí èmi ń jẹ́. Èmi ni ọkùnrin tí ó wà láàrin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi obìnrin àti Oyindàmọ́lá àbúrò mi obìnrin. ọ̀gbẹ́ni Àlàbí Adélọ́rọ̀ ni mí èmi gan ni olórí ìdílé wa digbí ni ọkàn mi balẹ̀ torí ohun gbogbo tí ìdílé mi fẹ́ fi ṣọdún bíi ìrẹsì màálù ògúnfe òróró tọ́kí àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ bí ọdún bá ti kù ọ̀sẹ̀ kan nílé iṣẹ́ ABL máa gbé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ fi ṣọdún yìí fún mi.
ọkọ tèmi nìkan ọ̀rẹ́ tòótọ́ kan ṣoṣo fún àwọn ọmọ wa àṣeyọrí wa yìí ṣeé ṣe nípa fífi 2,500 pamọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ wa èmi náà ń fi 5,000 naira pamọ́ nínú owó oṣù mi ọkọ mi náà ń fi 10,000 naira pamọ́ nínú èrè okòwò rẹ̀.
tó bá jẹ́ ti ìdílé Adélọ́rọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ iléeṣẹ́ ABL.
ọdún kérésìmesì àti ọdún tuntun máa dùn yùngbàyùngbà lọ́dọ̀ tiwa.
iléeṣẹ́ ABL wà ní nọ́mbà 47 Purple House Ìtòkú Road Ìtamọ́rìn Junction Abẹ́òkúta Ògùn State ẹ pè 09026577587.
A wonderful morning starts with integrity. The integrity starts with you.
Splash FM 106.7.
All right, then, thank you very much for staying with us right here on Splash 106.7 FM, the Integrity Station. The program you're tuned into is Panorama. Well, we ain't exactly done and dusted the really show of the day segment of the show just yet, and that's because I recall Afolabi was talking to us. You can get the callers again. Would accommodate your thoughts for a few more seconds and minutes before we get to move on to other segment of the show, and we have your thoughts on Facebook as well as WhatsApp. I have a caller now. Hello.
Hello, Flash.
Yes, good morning, Babari.
Babari is my name. I'm calling from Oban Tuku.
All right.
Brother, the question you asked was that should amnesty be given to Boko Haram soldiers? I don't know the additional one to ask, but if
bandits
properly,
right?
Should amnesty? For me, I would say yes. Amnesty for Boko Haram for soldiers. But for bandits, I don't think amnesty should be accorded to them. For Boko Haram, it is a war. And those who murder sleep can never sleep. So why we are still grappling with this Boko Haram insurgency. So whoever have surrendered, honestly, they should be accorded amnesty. Whoever has done anything, it is criminality. So the full weight of the law should be, wielded on them. So I think that is my contribution this morning. That those that are, surrendered, yes, Boko Haram, it's a war. Then my brother, try and see whether you can get in touch with one professor in the university, American University in Yola. The man is on international law and international relations. Honestly, what the man said about all our wahala in this country, maybe you will hear him better. But to me, like I said, amnesty should be accorded to Boko Haram because it's a war. And so long that
much.
Thank you, Babari, for your contribution. Before we get to the WhatsApp and Facebook comments, I'd like to ask Daud this last question, and I hope the answer can be as brief as possible. We've seen a sort of trial and error from these governors who have taken different stances. For a while, it seemed as though Governor Masari of Katsina was a foil to Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna, who was doubling down on saying no negotiation, no dialoguing, just the stick approach. Meanwhile, Masari at the time has seemed to be pro-negotiation, pro-peace, pro-dialoguing before this recent about face. But neither of these tactics have worked. Masari has admitted himself that that did not work and that with the benefit of hindsight, he should have done it differently. And with El-Rufai, at the times when he came out to even say more that he insisted on the stance he had taken, we saw that there was an increase even in the frequency of attacks. And perhaps in a twist of irony, there's a headline from, I believe it's The Punch, of another fresh kidnapping in both states, Katsina and Kaduna, 26 people, I believe. So neither of these methods seem to be working. So what other approach is there to try if Both using force isn't working and using peace isn't working.
It depends on the approach. Sometimes an idea could be fantastic, but he was not in support of paying a ransom to this bandit. Some people supported him and then some people were against him. Those who are in support said yes, so that it will not continue to empower them. But those that are against said, if you want to say that we should not, if someone kidnaps my family members and they reach out to me that I should give them money, and they threaten that I should not tell people, but because I don't trust the government system, so they should work towards having our trust, so that when they say people don't do this, we say we trust you. So they have lost that trust. That's why some of their policies are not working. If we trust them, we support them. Okay, yes, you are not going to pay. The governor had to withdraw a child from public school. He said after 2 or 3 attempts on his child. So if a governor could withdraw his child from public school.
This is from Abdul Fattah Babatunde. He says, good morning, Bengalola and Mr. Daud. As they have committed, will the family of those victims be happy seeing them in the society? No sympathy should be passed on them at all. My submission is any finger that doesn't want peace in the country should be cut off so that it will not ruin the society and it will not expose the society to dangers. Olatunji says the federal government once said that most of these terrorists are not Nigerians, yet the federal government is granting them amnesty. How are we so sure that these terrorists styled as bandits are Nigerians? To be sincere, this country is not getting it right in terms of governance. A country where evildoers are compensated and pampered while law-abiding citizens who are fighting for their people's rights are dealt with. How can you give amnesty to people you claimed are not Nigerians? If it were, it is well indeed. Edwin Abayomi says any national problem that is being viewed from religion, ethnic, and regional prism is bound to linger forever. This seems to be our greatest undoing as a nation. May I ask Daud if there's a lesson for the South to learn from the ongoings in the North?
So many lessons. If care is not taken, South or Southwest will also witness this kind of, we will not call it banditry, but I think there are so many lessons to be learned. Because of time, let me just say one. One of the lessons is the way our people, our government are managing the youth. Because mismanagement of the youth is one of the problems. Early in the morning, you see some youth, unemployed, able-bodied, roaming about the streets, hanging around, doing all this stuff. So there is need for our government in this region to engage gainfully, positively, the youth so that they will not think of going to crimes.
All right.
Perhaps we can take one more call. Just one. We'll have one here, or maybe two more. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name? Olabode, please make it very quick. You have a minute.
I will.
All right.
Mainly studying the graphical representation of our national map. So the whole entire thing is crystal clear. I mean, any average layman, when people find it any difficult to wrap their heads around what is inevitably bound to become of such nation as life. So you don't have to be a genius to discern that. The map already portrays the North, generally as the formidable, massive empire. I mean, population and geographical wise. And we there, we their southern counterparts, are like one subservient geographical enclave. So if you ask me, I really don't. Hello.
Go on, please go on.
So I really don't think, agree that, that's the representation of, the true portrayal of things, in the sincerest reality. So one other speaker even said earlier somewhat like on a lighter note that our coat of arms says it all. The two serving horses are like the South, and the eagle is like the North. So what I'm just trying to say is that these are the things I think we really need to correct. Do you know that if we even go by the virtue of federal character, so whether we like it or not, the North, we keep getting the larger chunk of the basis of everything, or anything you want to call of elected post. So this is fundamental issue that I keep telling my people. That is where we think so this is the foundational problem that we really need to solve. So we have to be treating it on the surfaces, attacking tribes every now and then. We should address the core fundamental issue from the basis. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Alabad Adigun, for talking to us. On Facebook, we have some comments. We'll run through them now. Zechariah Lubayataningola says, misuse of amnesty is another problem facing this nation. It goes on to say, what is going on in Zamfara is a green light on winning the banditry battle in Nigeria. Sahid Olushesi says, good morning. The unemployment rate increases every day in and out. The more unemployment rate increases, the more criminal activities will increase. An idle hand is a devil's workshop. Our politicians should see that they represent us well and see that their offices as a selfless service, not to earn money for their pockets, and they should do the needful for our people's suffering in Nigeria. Now, those people that are destroying the country, we want to give them amnesty. Very painful. May Almighty Allah protect us in Nigeria. Coded from Ijeja. We have Aditayo. I think he sent a message on Facebook. Aditayo Adeniro. Okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
It's there.
Just guessing it's the same thing on
No,
Facebook.
he didn't send a message on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay, all right. So, Aditayo Ademola Adeniro says, good morning, Bengalolanda. I guess, Mr. Daud, let me tell the truth. That is bitter. We have to work on religion very well in this country. Secondly, Nigeria, especially northerners, cannot overcome the issues we have on ground now unless the constitution is amended. Thirdly, let Mr. Daud tell south and westerners to come out en masse and vote in next elections. If we continue to say our votes will not be counted, the government will continue to be biased. Engineer Tayadenir from Abeokuta, thank you very much for talking to us. Be finally call and we'll move on from this. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Nicholas.
Good morning.
Yeah, somebody talk about ideology.
Okay.
I agree with him. Anywhere a young boy is made to believe that he can have 4 girls as his wife once they express their first mental cycle, obviously VVF is a new criminal. Even in cities that are flattening their poverty rate, there is decline. Daud, you would agree with me that this Boko Haram people, that's no ideology. People see, and it goes beyond not being educated, not being schooled. Some of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda commanders are surgeons. They went to the best schools. This is more of an issue of ideology. And this government appears to struggle with the best way. They say they have seen the sponsors. Some bureau de change operators, they cut them. When are they going to try them? It is difficult for bandits to come to Africa Central. They always, in all the states they have attacked, they are close to the forest areas because they use it as a cover. So we know these truths. And on the issue of when some people get pregnant and the rest, even in this town, there are girls who are less than 18 who get pregnant. Once there's hunger, crime is closed. Those Bado boys and the 1 million boys in Lagos, they are not from the north now. These are simple sociological truisms. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, for talking to us. We should move on now to the second segment of this, which is from the pages. I have with me here the Punch newspaper.
I have Nigerian Tribune.
Right on the front page of the Punch, quite a number of stories. I'll read them to your hearing now. States to submit PIA proposed amendment at next FAAC meeting. You'll find that on page 2. FG not owing doctors or other health workers salaries. That is coming from the Minister for Employment, Chris Ngige. You find that on page 14. VAT collection row. No going back on bail. Lagos insists. Adamawa backs Wike. There are 2 riders. The first one says, no point stay in action. Court has dismissed FIRS stay of execution. That's from Lagos. And the second rider says, Adamawa hails Rivers. Court judgment says it will improve state revenues. We have this big story as well. Keep Southwest safe. Oyetola tells Amotekun. You find that one on page 8. Buhari wants service chiefs as Katsina Kaduna bandits abduct 26. You'll find that on page 39. All gas GDP contribution drops by 3.25 trillion naira in 2 years. You'll find that one on page 27. OAU dismisses lecturer over sexual harassment of students. You find that one on page 4. Fear groups Ogun community as 25 die of cholera. You find that on page 7. 64-year-old Ogun estate agent allegedly defiles 2-year-old. Pages 4 and 5. That, well, just call it barbaric reading. We also have this one as well. National Assembly berate INEC as commission insists on electronic results. You find that one on page 14. Well, that just about does it as regards to stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
And now to Nigerian Tribune. Zamfara gunmen are terrorists, not bandits. The statement is by Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State. End selective abductions, killings in northeast, north central. Buhari charges security chiefs. That's the rider accompanied with that story. 2023 PDP governors meet today ahead of party's neck. ACF staff slumps dies in office. Bandits kidnap 18 in Kaduna community. And the sexual harassment story of OAU dismissing another lecturer is here again in Nigerian Tribune. 76 million Nigeria's adults are illiterate. That's the federal government with that number. As it says, that as UNESCO says, 1.6 billion learners have been affected by COVID-19 pandemic. On Lagos PDP crisis, court declares no vacancy in 6 key positions. Declares November 13, 2019 election unconstitutional. 500 billion naira suit. Court allows viewing of DSS's invasion of Igboho's residence during proceeding. Clip of Igboho advocating for Yoruba Nation also viewed. African Development Bank to spend $700 million in livestock development projects in 2 years. Kaduna suspends weekly markets, bans sale of petrol in 5 local governments. Report on freezing of Kogi account, joke taken too far. That's from the state's governor, Yahaya Bello. Tension in Imo over scarcity of petroleum products, closure of banks. Sanwo-Olu, I have no anointed candidates in Lasso VC race. Cholera claims 2,141, affect 65,145, and that's the front page of Nigerian Tribune.
All right, let's, well, before we proceed to bring Daud into this other segment of this, let me mention that we had the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, I think it was about 3 weeks ago now, if I'm not mistaken. Olatunji Tijani then did make reference to Omida shopping malls, B&C, about allocation and all of that. So we did reach out to the Speaker on your behalf, and what he said was that you should send another letter, that he cannot remember seeing the first one. So it's important. If you're listening, your name is Olatunji Tijani. So the Speaker said you should send another letter, that he can't remember seeing the first one at all. So that's the feedback you need to hear as regards that one. So Daud, let's look at the issue from the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, saying that the FG is not on the database and have undergone the necessary things as they were supposed to do. They are not being owed. Is this the latest in this saga between the resident doctors as well as the FG? And if I was tempted to ask that, is Ngige actually trying to pull up a joke or something?
I think we should ask a further question. Who enroll them illegally? I think we should, so that we can prosecute the person, because he has done a criminal, he has committed a criminal offense, and the grass will suffer. The grass has started suffering. So Ngige and the doctor should please show mercy. If Ngige or any of his family members fall ill, they know where they will go. But the masses, we know where. We don't know where except this public health institution. So please, I think we should not continue begging them. There is nothing we can say. We will say that yes, as far as he is concerned, on the database, the government has paid the legally recruited or legally enrolled doctors. but those that are complaining are illegal doctors. So the further question is, who employed them? Who did the job? So the government should fish the person out or them out and then prosecute them because it's illegal. But as far as I'm concerned, people have started losing lives. Lives are being lost almost every day, even in Ogun State, because people cannot afford these private hospital charges. Sincerely, the government, this is the period we will now appreciate that we need to have public institutions so that some of us who are low income earners will know that, okay, either public school, I'll go to public school, hospital, let me go public hospital, all those stuff. So we want to beg the government and the doctors. The doctors should show mercy, the government should show mercy. They should come to the table and then shift ground. Ngige, who is representing the federal government, should not be rigid. Should also shift his own ground. The doctor should observe that the reality has dawned on us. There is no free money, there is no money. We don't have that money. So whatever all their demands, they should also be reasonable. Yes, they are reasonable by demanding they are making demands, but they should be realistic. That okay, federal government will not be able to, because I heard that in one interview with the president of the National NAMS, Nurses Association and Midwives.
Okay.
Make demands. So doctors should know that yes, you are very, very important. But as important as doctors are, so as nurses and others. So when you are bringing your demand to the table, consider others.
You are referring to Johesu. The others.
Yes. Apart from Johesu, there are other, even those that are working in a laboratory. There is another group that I think they have to do with checking blood, all those stuff. I forgot.
Running some sort of test.
Yeah. So samples. They are not doctors, they are not nurses. That they held a press conference a few months ago and they talked about their own phalanx of demand. So the federal government should also be reasonable. And then the doctor should be reasonable.
Do you think that Ngige is doing a satisfactory job as labor minister amidst trying to pacify or mediate between all these factions that are threatening, or these unions that are threatening to go on strike or are already on strike? Is he, because he's the representative of the federal government, and so far sometimes we've seen a discrepancy between what he says and then what the unions are alleging, was promised to them or was told to them, or what's the reason for? Do you think he's doing a good job?
As far as federal government is concerned, he's a good boy. I've observed very well when he was celebrating his birthday recently. Federal government, the congratulating message, you see the body language. Mr. President was very, very happy with his service. He said it, that he's hardworking, he's doing, so he's a good boy as far as federal government is concerned. But he's a bad boy as far as the doctors are concerned. So, but to the masses, he is neither good nor bad. What we are interested is, please, all of you, come to the round table, make your demand, and then shift ground, let the work start. The last time I went to FMC, Binga, I was shocked. I never saw FMC like that in my life. Empty. Empty. AIE, as in an emergency. Very, very empty. So the private hospitals are now taking advantage. And what are they charging? How many people can afford this charges? So these are, we will beg them. I also had a discussion with one of the, I think the secretary of the PRO of NAD in Ogun State. I said, doctor, is it not part of your, what's it called? Is it principle or that you should take life more important than money? He said, yes, that they are not, what's it called? They are not money conscious, but they discovered that government is playing on their intelligence. That even they have suffered from it. That there are some of their members that have lost their life because they could not pay. So they are also claiming that yes, they are Nigerian, they are human beings, they are doctors, they feel it, but federal government should do the needful.
But as Minister of Labour and Employment, should Ngige not be making the federal government see the plight of the doctors more as against
they will have bring
more vocal from the government side.
I could remember when former governor of Lagos State, Ajifashola, faced the Senate for his ministerial screening. Said, may your loyalty not be put to test. That's what's happening to him. He's a doctor. He's not an academic doctor. Exactly. He's a medical doctor. Exactly. He's one of them. So if he talks like that, you need to find out who has gone beyond his boundary. If you listen to some other health workers, they talk about against the doctors, you hate them. Sincerely. You hate them because, we as reporters, we talk to all of them. Right. So when they believe that doctors are too arrogant, that they believe that they are the only one working, that is their belief. That can they do it all? You don't understand that most of the job, according to them, in fact, the president of the nurses, NAM, said most of the jobs were done by the nurses. So that is, even within the health sector, they believe that doctors are demanding too much. If federal government meet the demands of this doctor, they will bring their own and they will also go on strike. And they will have entered the government. So government is in dilemma. So as I said, the two elephants are fighting. We are the grass. So they should show mercy, the two of them.
All right, on to another story now from page 4 of Nigerian Tribune. The federal government on Tuesday disclosed that more than 76 million adults, representing 38% of the estimated 200 million population of Nigeria, cannot read and write, despite increasing efforts to improve on literacy level in the country. This was made known by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, adding that this number was in addition to the burden of over 6.9 million children who are out of school. He also expressed fears that the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic might hinder the realization of Sustainable Development Goals SDG Target 4.6. 38% of Nigerians cannot read and write. And we've spoken about how illiteracy, this is a huge number, how illiteracy has a direct contribution to insecurity. What has been done to forestall this or to solve this problem or to reduce these numbers, if not completely eliminate them?
Government is in the best position to say that. In fact, sometimes when I remember what Awolowo did, I say that, this guy will remain the hero. I told myself, I said, if education was not free, I don't think I would go. I don't think I would have been educated. Since I told myself, I said, I don't think, because I didn't come from that, what's it called, buoyant family,
right?
Average family. Okay, but I said, if not for the fact that the education was made free, I don't think I would have been educated to this level. So they said Awolowo intended to extend that policy to other regions. That was the reason he wanted to be the president. And he couldn't get it. That is why he was that way reason. Southwest. It's different. Because when it comes to education, either you like it or not, you must enroll your children. At least primary school to secondary school. So, but it's not happening in the north. If you, Lola, if you check the breakdown of the statistics, you know that northwest and northeast will take the larger and the largest, what's it called, the chunk of the statistics. It also, look at the JAMB. Which region got the Ogun candidate came second now? I think Southwest came first and second. But I know Ogun. Otatoта is school. So even when you talk about the performance at education level, you see that South, not Southwest. Because Southeast is also very, very going far. In fact, many times Southeast defeats Southwest. So it is the championship has been between Southeast and Southwest.
What about South?
I've not. You know, it should be like Southeast, Southwest, South. Now, North. It should be North Central. If you want to rate it, you look at it, you say, okay, if it's not Southwest, it will be Southeast. If it's not, so let's say between South and Southwest, they are the one struggling for the first and second position. The third goes to South. Now, the 4th go to North Central. Now look at the level of civilization. And now we are now left with Northwest and Northeast. They don't really, except of recent. That's why people will be grateful to the like of Kwankwaso, Rabi Kwankwaso, some of these people, this former emir of Kano.
Right.
They sponsored a lot of people. You go to Crescent, go to some of these private schools, you see some people they sponsor. But if you break down the statistics of this, you observe that I've not read I only had the headline, but when I have the time, if the breakdown is there, I won't be surprised if Northeast and Northwest get the highest number of the illiterate or not educated people.
So, I mean, I asked you if the federal government is doing enough to combat this. This is a sort of self-admittance from the government itself. I mean, this statistic is not even in the usual manner that we see. It's not coming from a foreign agency. This is coming from the government itself, particularly the Minister of Education, who is responsible for, progress and advancements in the educational sector. And this is also coming on the heels of Governor El Rufai saying the other day that in reaction to JAMB scrapping the uniform cut-off marks, he said that was not a progressive policy because the North is known to be educationally disadvantaged, as you've mentioned. However, for the North to play catch-up with the South, the way for the North to play catch-up with the South is not by lowering the benchmark for the North. It's by keeping the benchmark as it is so that they can improve their quality, improve, their outputs and all of that. And we've also seen that just as we've posited that there's a link between lack of education or illiteracy and insecurity, in the North is where we are seeing a lot of the insecurity happening. But is there a political will from the federal government and even from the northern leaders to address this problem in any way?
Federal government cannot do more than what it's doing. And what is it doing? It's trying to encourage people to go to school by all these homegrown program. So it's a very good one. So that at least people, all these children, little girls, boys who say, let me go, I'll eat. It's a good. The majority of this is expected to be done by the state leaders, sincerely.
So are they doing it, especially the northern leaders?
They are doing it, but it may not be enough. There is no government. If you check the budget, that they will not earmark some percentage to education. They will definitely do. But the question is, what is really wrong? We cannot sit down in Abeokuta and be analyzing Kaduna. We have to look at it and say, okay, what is the mentality? In fact, some of my colleagues and then all these young ones, when they went for service in the North and they came back, they usually tell us that for these people to go to school, some are married. Some will go to school, they'll get to school by 9. They will leave by 12. They will tell their child that I'll be leaving the school because he's going to farm. So that one is not happening here. So we have to look at state peculiarities and say, okay, as far as Jigawa, for instance, is concerned, so some of these northern states, they pay them money to go to school. They pay them. So if you go to school, give you money. So they are trying. But what they just need to do is they need to do a lot of programming to let people see life from another way. The life they are used to is once they get to a stage, they will give them cows, they will marry to them, and then they become family men. And they will not say go to school. They see going to school as okay, so that we can get a job. They don't usually. That's why look at what Kaduna State Governor did. He said teachers. He asked them to write exams. Teachers could not express themselves. Teachers, let alone the students. So there are issues. If we want to get over of this problem, we need to analyze state by state, do state by state analysis. We can't use Ogun State, what's it called, method for Gombe and allow it to work. It can never work. They don't need to give us money, Lola, here. before we go to. In fact, some of us pay for our school fees. You don't understand. Some of us who are running our masters or PhD, we are the ones sponsoring ourselves because we know we value it. But they give them money to go to secondary school.
Well, the worrying thing about that statistic is this 38% is adults. So these are people that are already grown. The chances of them going back to school is almost non-existent.
There's an adult school now.
Yes, but how in use are those? How many people patronize those?
It depends on it depends on how liberal, how dynamics they make it.
It's easier to train a child than it is to train an adult.
Yes, but you can also still train an adult. Because adults will also see that I need this. We are going to teach children with biscuits, all those stuff before he or she go to school. The adults knows that I need to get this done. Whatever that's going to require, he will give it to it. Only that assimilation, that is the problem. But when it comes to achieving it, forget. Adult can achieve it if he's so determined.
All right.
Well, several stories from Ogun State. I mean, there are a lot of stories actually in the papers today. There's the one about the VADs, Adamawa State jumping on maybe what you call the bandwagon of those who are calling for VADs to be remitted to the coffers of the state governments with the internal revenue services of each of those states. Adamawa has joined them, saying that they back Wiki and all of that. But there's also a story from Ogun State that concerns health. And I thought we should also look at that for a few minutes before we allow people to be a part of the conversation today. There's the one that concerns cholera. I mean, you wrote this, and so it's interesting that you are also with us here in the studio. 25 persons have been, no fewer than 25 have been reported dead from the outbreak of cholera and all of those. 25 is by no means a small number of people. What measures should the residents of Ogun State take? Because the truth is, yes, it still seems to be in a particular region now.
Yes.
The local government area, Magboro, Arepo, Akenron, Akintonde, Shofolarin.
5 communities.
5 communities altogether. But the bad part or the sad part could be that it could fear in a very short period of time if the adequate measures are not taken. So up to the resident, what do we have to do as Ogun citizens?
You say, from our findings, you say government has swung into action, because the interview we had with the chairman of that community said on Saturday the government officials were with them to do some other things. If you observe very well, those areas that were affected are areas where Northerners are living, Kara, Disable stuff. And then according to the some of these residents, they said, and the government, they said some people traveled to the north and then they came back and then they came with that disease. And then the way Northerners, other people, the way they live, they mile around each other, all those stuff. In fact, it was 15 people that were said to have died of that cholera. The chairman now said when it happened, some people left that place for Kara to escape. When they got there, 10 died. And because of when things like it happen, the government will keep mum. It's sad. You call the commissioner for health, she will not pick your call. You send text, she will not reply. You are expected to give them information. Journalists that call you, I think I told someone, I said, before some of these people became whatever they are now, did we call them? It is official call. Right. So when journalists call them, they should honor. They should talk. Now we called him yesterday, 2 days ago, he didn't pick. We sent her, she didn't reply. We wanted to know what other efforts the government is doing. Because we got to know, we wanted to even go there yesterday, but the Google map told us that there is a very huge traffic. So we couldn't go. But we are able to do some things. You now get to know that there is anxiety in that place. Because, yes, water is involved, food is involved. And people need to be given serious, huge campaign to know that, okay, you cannot just eat anything. You know, in this side of the country, if you are a married man, you can just say you want to buy food from any vendor. You don't know the kind of water the person uses. So these are issues. So when we call government, it is for the sake of, because we are also residents, for the sake of people that will read. You may not pick all the calls. When journalists call you, you should know that it's not calling to give me contract. It's calling you because of what happened, so that we don't know your mind. We don't know what you have done. We don't know. They will come out and say that we are waiting for them to say it's not up to 25, because we have the statistics. We have it. He said 15 died, 10 later died, and we want to follow up today. You should know, government should tell us what is he doing, because Olatunji is also, you know, he's close to and you know, very, very big. Right. You can through Papa, you can get to Olatunji
access.
So anybody can leave Arepo or all those from the. You ask me what government has done, I don't know.
As a matter of fact, we tried to reach out to the Commissioner for Health. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Initially, she responded, but much more later, she just stopped responding. But I mean, it could be for several reasons. Let's hear from you now. We have just about how many more minutes? About 7 more minutes to wrap up the conversation today. So 50.
Yeah, and my dear sister, good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Morning, my name is Folari from Chagawile.
Folari.
The minister, that's Dr. Njike, with the government, he refused. He said he's going to impose work. And that is what indicates the doctors to act this way to the innocent. I so much, disheartened they do. But when you are being jeopardized by, your passionate thing, so to this issue of VAT, I could remember in Saudi, in any bank that operates in Saudi, they did not take interest in any loan. You understand? That's their normal phenomenon. But when you say something is haram, it's completely haram. You can't use what you say is haram, and they are taking part of it. I have, been in support of the Lagos, Adamawa, and Wike for their, new development. It's totally being supported. That's a good one. How could somebody say something is I'm not going to put it that something you don't like, and you are taking part of it? It's not justifiable. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Folari, for talking to us. Please keep your thoughts down to a minute so we can take as many calls as possible.
Good morning. The number of villages that they should truly bother themselves about, even though I totally agree that there is no age that you cannot study. Still 72-year-olds going back to the university to obtain their degrees. So Baba Government is there for everybody to see. In the north. In the northeast, we are hearing 460-something thousand out of food. Veto in the northwest. What has the minister done to address? We go and put the northern man as Minister of Education, and then at the end of the day, the guy doesn't do anything to even educate.
Good morning.
That there are some illegally recruit and use it against the doctors, which is not working. So I don't expect you to. We have to start from the top. You don't expect it to start from downwards, upwards. The revelation of the then Kano State, that same kind of person that will be at the center of executing justice. So these are the salient questions.
Facebook. Okay, one more call, and then we'll get done with the calls. Hello, good morning. You have a minute. What's your name?
Yeah, with the first class. And none of his wives was less than 20. But those who didn't have that privilege, who are more you cannot person the weak by weakening the strong. I can say this. Have a nice day.
Thank
Thank you, Nicholas. Edward Akorede Camille, I beg your pardon, but the amnesty for criminals. Of contention here is that federal government should start honoring any agreement signed.
Says again, let's also wish our presenters here. So for me, I've not eaten, so bring food when you're coming. Rest of the day, my name is Benga Fayel.
I am Lola Neduteni. Good morning.